Okay, so let me take you back here to just about Friday morning. We're going to use the example of about 4:25 a.m. Pacific time. This is going to be Friday, November 21st, right? Just a few days ago here. And I'm going to show you what is happening at this moment. Let's go ahead and press play on this. And I want you to focus right in this zone right here, okay? Specifically the targets against the score of this system here, okay? Let's go ahead and press play on that. Right, take a look at this as this moves to the upside, right? You get yourself to know when there is a moderate or strong signal for a potential upside or continuation before that happens, right? So what this does for you is it provides targets as this moves, and it gives you the probability of an upside based on a score of 4. So 0 and 1 being weak, right? As you start catching the signals for a moderate strength, you're going to start catching strong or very strong signals. Those signals would then be literally, you're going to be able to be executed for these targets that is giving you to the upside on this area here. So if you are one of the lucky 20, you would be able to get this here for around $60 for Black Friday, guys. I am only allowing 20 slots to get Z-SQEEZE. As this is a $194 system that I usually sell, guys. So when this is ready for you to be used, I guess on a squeeze play or something, this is the thing to tell you, and it would actually be the first all technical, I guess, squeeze identifier and target generator for your system or for whatever thesis you got going, right, guys? So this, I guess I'm going to be using this more and more often because a lot of people do get curious over how this generates the targets. So make sure, guys, to look in the description below, get this indicator here just for around $60, and this would get you forever a lifetime ownership of this thing, guys. So you let me know what your TradingView username is, and I will go ahead and give you that access as soon as you are completed, and everything will be good, team. Okay, guys. So I guess I could have chosen an area that had a little bit more of a squeeze feel, right? But yeah, team, know that the instructions are in the TradingView area, and that's all that you would need to know. Okay, guys, so we are filming right now, and we are live within the trading team in Discord right now, guys. So let's go ahead and just get this thing started. We met the upside targets today, guys. We met the upside targets, and we actually got the retrace that we were looking for based on yesterday's thread. We were just stating the simple fact that we broke out of huge areas, right? And in those areas, you know what? Actually, let's go ahead and take a look at what that kind of upside did, right? So this is us approaching just about this Sunday here, right? So I believe this happened in the Monday price action where we actually ended up making a massive upside, I believe, right, guys? So if we can do that, I think it was it Friday or Monday where we made that huge up? I think we ended up going towards that 230 zone, right? And I think it was just about Monday. Okay, so here we are on Monday. Let's see just take a look at your zones here, right? You have a resistance at this area here. You have support, resistance here, resistance, right? These types of things, right? You're getting your moderate signal here for a 233 already, right? So this thing is just blasting and blasting and blasting through all these resistances, right? And this is what happened. It's a replay. So as you blast over these areas and not really come back, to validate them, this becomes a problem, right? That becomes to where it's like maybe I owe you this downside, or maybe I owe us to look at whatever is just about to happen here. Is how can we determine what the pullback is going to be when you're just blasting off into space like this, reaching targets of just astronomical numbers here? So what we do is we simply look at things from a larger perspective. All you have to do is really look back in maybe. Here's the problem, guys. We have people stuck on a 5-minute time frame, right? On a 1-minute time frame, on a 2-minute time frame. If I can encourage you to maybe step out of that time frame and start looking at things with a broader perspective, then maybe that can absolutely help with identifying broader targets, right? The pivots that you're catching in a 5-minute time frame, sure, they're important, right? But it really matters more how many times we've used the resistance or support level, historically speaking, like way back in time. So if we have something that does have historical use and is used all the time, then it would be likely for us to go towards that. Like, I mean, I'm talking about if we used it as a means of an area where we can touch down a checkpoint. The most popular checkpoints would be the ones that most people go to. So all we have to do is just expand it, right? Let's look at it from maybe a daily time frame, right? Instead of a 1 minute or a 5 minute time. And all we do here is just kind of look back and see what we kind of ignored on this gigantic upside here, right? This is your upside down to the 181, all the way up to the 229, which, by the way, the Z-SQEEZE was already telling you around 233 from the first moderate signal you got for upside. So this is the critical point, right? Mark it off. Mark off your top side. Where was it? Right? You're saying right here around the 230, right? Okay, so because this was just one gigantic jump, what was left behind to test? Because that's all trading is, right? Trading is just a series of zigzags. You go up to a certain area, but you have to come back and make sure that the other area that you left is still kind of accounted for before you go up and meet the next area, and then come back down to make sure that other point was just accounted for as well, and so on and so forth. So if we're able to understand that notion alone, then we would be able to see that, okay, we just made a gigantic jump here. And there's a bunch of things that from this point we ignored. Like just look left, right? Look left, right? Like my cursor, look to the left. So as we go up, right here already, this is one area that it looks like we kind of need to come back there, but no, the price from here jumped and it came all the way back down to test these lows here. So we got this one, we're good. Right, we got this low of around 191. We just checked off right down here. As we move up, this entire area, I mean, let me just put like a horizontal line against that, right? And just have you take a look at the value of how much this zone is tested here, right? Look at all these areas here that just continue to test and test and test, right? That would technically be an area of interest for when an asset runs up right into critical targets and then needs to maybe pull back. That's called your validation of support or confirmation of support. So should you know those dynamics, you would be able to already kind of know that, you know what, we're potentially going to reach this very valuable area here. It looks just like the opposition here, right? So many zones of resistance up here and so many zones of supports down here. So you know what? Yeah. Why don't we just go ahead and grab that top side right here, right? And come back down, validate maybe down here a little bit and then continue. So when you do that, there probably could be here's the thing, guys, it's variable. You're not looking at completely all the way to 207 because there's variance all around it, right? There's like, for example, this here, this is where your discretion comes in, right? Like this area. You see how many candles opening and closing are right there? That also kind of rhyme with a million others to the right of it too, right? The low of this one. Like it's just like that's your discretion. You would have to identify these areas when you're just naturally doing this together. So what could it be? What could it be that we're really going to do here, right? Now that we got this explosive upside and we're chilling here and then we got another explosive upside and now we're kind of hanging here. What would it be? Are we coming down to here or not? Well, let's go ahead and find out in this episode here, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Please do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Do everything necessary to get this thing to live long, thrive, and survive. My name is Arca, coming at you here at 10:32 p.m. Pacific time on Tuesday, November 25th. Spot price action here for XRP is currently sitting at 218.27 after actually just seeing a very nice run towards that 230 target, 229.89 around there. So very cool rejection, very nice upside here, and now we're seeing kind of a distribution on that up. But I gotta tell you, I mean, these are just daily time frames, and not even to mention this, guys. This also looks like there very well could be, let's see if I can get you a pretty good example here. We're gonna use a bars pattern and take this here for a pretty nice ride, actually, all the way up to like this maybe. So what we're going to do here is just give you an example over what could be happening, right, guys? It would be this, this top side here. Should we say that we're going to come back down towards that, towards that support bottom, sure, right? We'll get down to that support bottom just right around down here, and we can then explore making our move or not, right? So just about like this here, and we can explode towards that upside. So what that kind of presents for us here is the probabilities of an inverse head and shoulder as well. So not only would it be a channel, but it would also be that other formation where people kind of see like, oh my goodness, how fun, right? Some more some more drawing tools here so we can get ourselves a pretty nice looking inverse head and shoulders, right? So if we can get that inverse head and shoulders printed right here, guys, that gives us a very strong probability of a massive upside continuation, specifically into, I guess somewhere around the 297 to around 310 targets. And that's, that doesn't look like it's too bad whatsoever, guys. Okay. Not bad at all. So, and then let's see, after this, we do have a 3-day time frame kind of closing here in 17 hours. So this is decompressing towards its 50% too early. The 50% decrease on this would actually, it definitely has the liquidity to drop around 211. Yeah, 211, 299 could be an area of interest for the XRP asset on a 3-day close. Right, and that's all. Look at that, right? 211, 299. We're already within that area here. Perfect. Yeah. So I'm gonna stick to my thesis here, guys. I think that we still have a little bit more of distribution to go. Right, pick ourselves up some bulls, and then make this thing right to the upside. When we're looking at this thing from the 2-hour time frame, there is already a pretty nice indication of a shorter time frame inverse head and shoulders here, right? So we just got down to that 214.07, but in fact, that hard target was around 214.60. These were the lows that we were kind of talking about in the prior days thread of analysis, right? So we got the targets, we nailed the upside, we nailed the downside, but could there still be downside figured? Well, yes, I think that there is a probability of still doing that. Now, it's going to look a little different on a bi-hourly time frame than it would be from that other larger time frame, but this is how it can happen. So if we respect market dynamics here and market psychology, if we actually get this formation to realize, then let's just kind of get ourselves a little bit of this just a little bit of this consideration here, right? We'll take that neckline trend line here, and also take the price objective from the center of the neckline all the way to the lowest part of the head, and apply this to what would be the center of your right hand shoulder. And of course, this is taking us to a target of right about this zone that we talked about over the last few days. This is the overall resistance. This is where we kind of went, right, in the that event on Friday. Or where was this on just yesterday, right? Nice. So we got that nice upside all the way up to the 229 area, and it looks like we could be coming up for another double top. So if we double top there, guys, that could actually set off a little bit of a tweezer top on your daily time frame, which would then increase the probabilities of retracing via the 3-day time frame. So this is 2 hours long, right? And the other chart that we were looking, this is 3 days long. So within the 3-day period, when this reaches around, when the clock, right, when it reaches around the 3-4 hour mark, 2 hour mark, that's roughly when it should start dialing back. But this is dialing back early. So that means that the area that we're looking for is a bit limited here, right? And it's highly likely that it's going to continue towards an upside due to the time that it's choosing to decompress. Early decompressions here, hence the 17 hours instead of a 2, 3, 4. That indicates a pretty strong probability of continued upside after this bar is printed. Okay, of course, still zigzagging around, but yeah, this would be your confirmation candle after your hammer candle down here, right? If you're talking about just regular technicals. So yeah, this could lead for a continuation to the upside with a validation just like that. Okay, guys, so I'm wondering here if that's actually what's gonna happen here on this chart, right? Get this. Get that pull. I'm not sure if it's going to pull back or if it already. Yeah, it did already, of course. Right, 214.52 compared to the prior chart, 214.52, just about here. Yeah, that's right here, right around there. Yeah, that's about 50% to the 3-day bar. It looks like it already kind of did it, guys. So yeah, I think that we could get this top side tweezer come back down to validate a couple supports from there. Remember what we just talked about, right? As you move up, what's left behind, that's your next step, right? We're going to find out what we left behind, which could probably be this and this area here, right? That would introduce a back test of around your 221 from around 227 to 228. All right, guys. So I think everything's looking okay, right? The equities are very strong, and there is still optimism growing in the investor side of things for risk on. And it looks like also gold was kind of taking a dip there, which usually happens, traditionally happens, right, when risk on assets become super, super duper bullish. So let's see how we can get this priced in for the coming rate cut here, guys. It's looking like the probabilities are kind of running up. So, guys, remember to get your purchase through the description below. There's only 20 slots available, guys, going for around $60. And that's why it's only 20 slots. All right, team. So with that said, I think it's a pretty good place to leave off. We'll talk to you very, very, very scary Larry later. Okay, team. I love you all. Adios. And adios. Please take whatever you do show and whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment. Because I cannot stress enough, guys, how much I can't tell you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. But everything is cool here on my end, team. Do your own due diligence, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios. Oh, yeah.